Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of the Unnamed Podcast where I sit here for a time and talk about whatever comes to my fucking brain.
And then I'm here.
And also Kris is there.
Yes.
Yes, it is me, Darcy, it is him, Kris. Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the podcast. This week on the podcast, it's a number, like always.
Indeed it is. You can never say it while on the podcast.
I reckon it's 84. Okay, it might be 83. I don't know. It's in the 80s. It's low to mid 80s. Anyway.
Throughout the first time.
Is it 84?
It's 84.
Nailed it. Yes, welcome back. Channel news, Kris. What's been happening this week on the channel?
Well, this week we've released on Monday was the final part of GTA.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Finally, it is all out. Probably the quickest and least fun part of GTA, obviously, because very mission orientated. Got to get things done. Trying to do things as stealthy as possible.
Yeah.
Didn't work out for us, but
Still didn't really lose much. So.
No, but we could have probably got out with a little bit more. Actually, no, I think we got out with about as much as we could have. Best case scenario, we probably could have walked out with another couple.
I think we were thinking about trying to actually get a little. No, we did get a little bit more at the end. That's right.
But because of all the bullets we'd taken, we probably lost about $200,000.
It's not too bad though.
No, it wouldn't have really made that much of a difference.
No.
Probably the bottom lines, I would have got like...
Well, at the end we didn't really get much really shot. So we sort of replenished what we'd lost anyway.
No, because you can't actually. So what happens is once your bag is full, if you get shot, your bag doesn't empty, you just lose money. It's a really stupid system.
It really is. I've never paid attention to that.
Yeah,
that is fucking
stupid. So you can't refill your bag, but you start to lose the money because it's like, oh, whatever you've got in your bag's getting damaged. And I've had this argument with so many people because like, oh yeah, but it's getting damaged. I'm like, my bag is full of gold. And I'm like, do you know what happens if you shoot a bullet into gold? No. Fucking nothing. It's full of gold fucking bars.
It gets a dent in it. That's about it.
Like, it's full of gold bars. I actually should be taking less damage because it's fucking deflecting the bullets.
Exactly. But because it's a bag full of it, it's not just a tiny amount. It's not like it's so thin that the bullet would still actually go through it. It's thick.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a bad system.
Also, you should be walking super slow.
Oh, you should be so slow. Well, even cash. Like, technically speaking, if you had a duffel bag full of gold, do you know what speed you could move at? Probably no speed because
that shit's heavy.
It's
way too heavy.
Balls. But no, like
that is dragging along the ground. And you wanted a silent mission? No, this is making noise.
Yeah. But it's the same with cash. Like again, like
it's heavier than you think.
A bag full of cash is fucking heavy.
Oh yeah.
It's like No, but like other than that, it's fun. It's something I do pretty often whenever I need a quick injection of cash. Just do that heist because it takes about an hour to set up. If I do everything fast and then
And some of it's just waiting time for the next part to be able to start up.
Yep.
Which isn't too long anyway, so it's not too bad.
But yeah,
so it used to be longer.
So that's coming out. So GTA is officially pretty much all the GTA we have filmed is officially out, and you can watch it in its entirety. There will probably be some more GTA. I'm not really sure what it'll be, but
at some point
there's probably more. I should probably look at buying the new business and then do the missions that go with it. Like we could also just do the missions in GTA, but
true.
The
ones we constantly ignore every time we get in.
Yeah, pretty much.
The quick answer and hang up because I don't want to hear your voice.
Oh, well, no. Most of those are actually being like, hey, your business needs you to do something. I'm like, I'm fucking playing GTA.
Mine is like, hey, do this. Hey, did you know this is an option? Hey, what about this?
Well, usually they'd be trying to get you to actually buy the businesses because you don't have any.
Exactly.
It's like, hey, if you get a hanger, you can do this. It's like, fuck off. I'm poor.
Pretty much. Whereas my thing is more predominantly answer hang up. Yeah. Done. I don't waste time on it.
No, but there is missions in GTA online, but there's also just fucking around. Like honestly, I kind of am a bit upset. we need to do it properly because obviously we can't use Xbox voice chat because of the aforementioned problems with it.
And it can be done quite easily, yes.
Yeah, but like I would have recorded some of the fuck arounds we've had with you, me, Jaden, and Jordan just fucking around in the game.
Oh yeah,
because that's chaotic fun, and I love chaotic fun.
Well, that's the thing. We can say to Jaden and Jordan, it's like, hey, if we're doing this, get on Discord.
Yeah. We must be on Discord. Everyone on Discord. Be on Discord now.
You may get recorded. Then again, you may also not get recorded.
Yeah. Well, again,
but it's sort of just.
I kind of just think I think in reality, because of the benefit of Discord, that we should just be doing Discord every time. I know that it's easier to just do it through the game chat or whatever, but it's like,
no, fuck the game chat. The game chat's shit.
Well, the Xbox party.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's technically easier. It's like. At the end of the day, Discord is actually a better system to use.
It's a lot better. That's why it's now on the consoles or able to be used through the consoles.
Yeah.
Which is simple. I know Jaden doesn't. He uses his computer.
Okay, no, I do the same thing, but because it's like
it's
just easy.
It's easier for me to just open my laptop.
Yeah, it's just easy, and it's like, like as I said, I just prefer it as a whole. I prefer using Discord to pretty much anything else because if something goes wrong, you can just send a message. You don't have to pull out your phone and start fucking Facebooking shit. Hey, we've just lost you. What's going on? Hold on, I don't know what's happening. It's not connecting. Fucking. But yeah. So the GTA came out on Monday.
The two.
I'm trying to think. Was there anything important about it? I don't really think there was anything too stand outish about that episode.
No,
it's a good episode.
It was just finishing the heist. Yeah.
Finishing off the fucking
the accumulation of everything we'd done coming to the end.
Come to an end, and just like the other thing is like at that point we'd probably been playing for about 2.5 hours straight. So
yeah,
so. We wanted it to be done.
Usually, yeah, because if you're just doing that one thing, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whereas we'll fuck around for hours on end.
Oh yeah. We've been incredibly task orientated for a very long time, and the thing with GTA Online is it's actually funner when you're not task orientated. Like all the missions.
So I don't tend to do
all the missions that we were doing to lead up to that point. Because they were just kind of open world missions where you can fail like 1 billion times and whatever.
Yeah.
They're good fun, but like the second you get into the missions where it's like, okay, you got lives here and this is it and blah, 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 and it's like, oh fuck. Especially with the heists. I think the heists are so anticlimactic because there's so much fucking around you can do while you're setting up the heist. But then in the heist it's like, okay, rightio, you've got one shot. One, here you go, this is it. One shot.
Yep.
You've got team lives. If you fuck up too much, you get out with less money than is possible. And it's like, holy fucking shit.
It's a pain. It really is.
At the end of the day, it's like, I'd much like, yeah.
Well, some of the missions work, and you can still have fun during the missions. Like, last time we did Drunk GTA and Jordan was flying around without a wing, it became a situation of we've got to get this done before he crashes because we know it's going to happen. And just
so wasn't drunk GTA.
Jordan was.
Well, Jordan was drunk. We weren't because
I'm pretty sure I was drinking as well.
No, because do you know what we were doing there?
Nope.
We were doing the.
Oh, sorry. We were on the battleship. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But what were we actually doing? Do you know?
I can't remember the exact thing.
We were doing one. We were doing one of the heists for someone.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So we were stealing the Hydra because we had to steal the Hydra.
Yeah. Which was...
No, we didn't have to steal the Hydra. We had to steal the EMP. I know exactly what it was. Yeah. It was when we were doing the Grandmaster Heist Challenge.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Which we probably have to restart.
Yes, we would have to.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get the others on and do it.
Yeah, again, it's something I would actually definitely consider doing. But first things first, I would have to run everyone through how to actually do it. Then we'd have to, because the first heist is only a 2-person heist, so you have to do it. Both groups have to do it.
Yeah.
So you have to, one group has to do it, the other group has to do it, so we'd have to do that. We'd probably miss the other person's heist. Unless I did it with Jordan or Jaden and you did it with the other one, and then we record our footage.
Yeah, that'd work.
But then we have to find a time where we can do that. Then we have to get them into the thing, and like to actually do those and get them done like well, there are rules that you do kind of have to follow. They're very strict.
Oh, yeah. I'm aware.
And the biggest thing is no one can die. Like, ever.
And I'm pretty sure that's what screwed us up, is we all died in that mission.
Well, there's...
Actually, no, there was another thing that screwed it up, I just can't remember what it was. It wasn't a death. It was something fucked up and it didn't work for
If
someone.
you fail it, you have to restart.
Well, I knew that, but I'm pretty sure it fucked up for one person.
Yeah.
And it's like, the other three were fine, but one person it just didn't work for.
Yeah.
What the fuck
I think that
happened?
was because one person had accidentally started a heist with someone else. Which resets your whole program.
Yes, that's what it
Now,
was.
as I said, I
Yes.
would be 100% willing to do that, but probably not right now. It's definitely something I
Fair,
want to do,
yeah.
and it would be a hell of a series, but there's a bit of setup that goes with it.
Oh, yeah. No,
Like,
definitely.
I would want to set up my Xbox with a quick turn-off switch,
Yeah.
because if you turn off your Xbox or whatever you're playing on, you can avoid the death resetting it,
Oh,
because
yeah,
it just
yeah.
disconnects you just before you die. So if shit gets like serious, you can just turn it off. But you need all 4 people to turn it off at like
Yeah,
almost
the same
instantaneous.
time,
You
yeah.
need it to be boom, 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 and all 4 people just need to go. Boop. But yeah,
So it's a rough one. It's a rough one.
it's a hell of a one. Or it's just something where you go, okay, let's do this, and you just have to keep trying it until you get it right once.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And we could do it. It's
it's doable. It's 100%
we
doable.
definitely can. Like we've
It's
got
just-
to we've
so
got to
the-
a point where
the
most
thing-
of them we don't die.
Well, the thing is, it's also on the like, it's the hardest difficulty.
Yes.
It's no lives. It's this. It's that. It's all the rest. But then the hardest part is it. I can't remember if it just counts for the heists, or if it counts for all the setup as well. Which means I know that you've got to play the setups with all the people, but it means it's a very long kind of grueling thing to do, because you need to be like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this.
Oh yeah.
It's not something you can accidentally do just having a good time with your mates.
Oh no. No.
It also requires like buying the right kind of equipment, because it's like you've got to have the APC pistol,
Yeah.
you've got to have the heist armor,
Yeah.
you've got to have armored Kurumas,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because they're bulletproof, shit like that.
Yeah. True. So we can get out in those.
Yeah. But as I said, it's something I'd definitely consider doing, and it's definitely something that I'd want to do. It's just probably something I'd want to do at a point where
We don't have to rely on finding a specific day.
more or less a point where I can just be like, okay, we can actually do this, let's do this, and like we can, because I don't know how long it would take. It could take an hour, an hour per heist, so that's about 4 hours. It could take 2 hours per heist. That's an 8-hour day. And it's like and it's like the crazy thing is like that's if everything goes right.
Oh yeah, I'm always.
If anything goes wrong, it could be so much longer, which means that you'd probably have to do it over multiple days. And it's like, and if anyone's got to go and do something, it's like, oh fuck, okay, then we have to stop, because it's not even something where you can do like, okay, well we'll keep this going, and then when you get back, we'll just just make sure your character doesn't leave the game or whatever. It's like, no, quite literally, you have to be there doing stuff.
Yep.
So it's definitely something. As I said, it's definitely something I want to do, and like, I would love to do it with like Jordan and Jaden, because Jordan was actually part of our first attempt at it.
Yeah.
And Jaden, he could be the anchor around our necks, but it's also something that is like, like
Yeah.
You know, how we always say, like, in the future, if we can ever do this for a living, this is what I'd want to do. I would love to do it with two people who are not gamers. And just, like, be like, the fucking ones be like, and we'll act by the fuck out of it.
That would be fun.
That's kind of like what I want to do, like, more of.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like, I one of my things that I really want to do, like, just in general, is just, like, get people who aren't really into video games and have them, or like games in general, and have them doing stuff on the channel, because I just love the kind of concept of people who this isn't as big a part of their life, just trying to, you know, do it.
It'd be fun. It would be
crazy.
funny as well.
But yeah, so that's what came out on Monday. What came out on Wednesday?
So that would be Raft.
That would be the Raft. Oh, great part.
First part is... Yeah, it is the first part, isn't it? Or is it the second part?
Second part? What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, it's a continuation, yes, but was the last one split into two? Was
Nope.
it just... Okay.
I don't split the Raft anymore.
Okay, fair enough then.
Usually we're just good enough that we keep to about an hour.
Yeah.
This one was a bit longer, but that's because there was a whole double rescue shit that had to go down.
Yeah, there was.
But if you have watched this one, like, this is probably one of my favourite episodes we've done so far, and I think I've got a bunch of shorts coming out based on it.
The first one's coming out?
First one has come out, that's Paul. Just living his ball life.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favourite things is seeing YouTube caption that, because you swear quite a bit.
Wait, what?
So YouTube has just got these blank spots where you're saying, oh, fuck, I'm saying the other ones...
Wait, for the episode or the short?
For the short.
I haven't looked at that.
The other ones, I think there's about 4, so there'll be 2 dropping tomorrow and then 1 dropping Friday.
Okay.
But they all relate back to this one. And yeah, I love it. There was literally one point that I was like scouring through the video to find, because it's literally an off the cuff thing that I say, but I'm like, oh, it's so very true. I eventually found it. I think that's the one that's coming out on Friday, so stay tuned for that one. It is probably my favorite thing that I ever said in that game.
I'm gonna have to stay tuned for it as well.
What was the other ones? But otherwise there's just like it's just points from what's happening there. So obviously you being attacked by a boar. Another one is just when I'm swimming with the shark, and we're just having a conversation about what's happening. It's great. I really enjoyed the couple of shorts I got from this one. It's a very good, and it was a very good episode to film as well.
Yeah, it was good. And I didn't fuck the recording up.
He didn't. And like, there was. Unfortunately, we have to come up with a better way to record the audio for games like that. Just because your audio was very, very soft at points, and so I was like, oh, fuck me. But you know,
that's right, because we were playing here, weren't we?
Yeah. But other than that, it's all fine.
Was it doing pretty well when we had the lapel mics?
Yeah, I do like that. I think there's a bit of a lag on them though, and I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
But there's a few things I want to do. Like, probably one of the first things I want to do is that's the other thing. We got to get Kris a chair that doesn't move, because he squeaks a lot.
Yeah, I don't tend to sit still.
I know. Trust me, I know. And you might not be picked up, but that noise always is.
No, I'm aware that was going to be picked up. I didn't realize it was going to make that sound.
It always does. It's a metal spring. Kris, what sound does a metal spring?
No, I'm aware, but I wasn't aware that it was going to be making it like that much.
No, but like I have plans to solve that. Well, all of those chairs have metal springs in them. All the gaming chairs that have full reclinability.
No, I'm aware of that. That's not what I was meaning by it.
Oh, what are you meaning by it?
Generally, when you initially get the chairs, it's fine. I didn't know how far this one had gone with the...
yes, I could probably grease it up, but I don't want to.
No, I don't. It's fair. It's fine.
First of all, that involves getting grease. Okay, second of all...
Then getting grease all over yourself, because you're going to.
Yes, it's like the day you sold me very powerful glue, and I was like, what was the first thing that happened?
You glued yourself.
I glued myself. I was just like, oh man, now I can't move.
You wanted something that would work.
I did, and it worked perfectly, but it also got me. And I was like, and then when people found out about it, they're like, how'd you glue yourself together? I'm like, no, the better question is, why did Kris let me buy powerful glue? He knows what I'm like.
I'm aware.
Exactly.
It makes it funny for me, that's why.
Anyway, no, but yeah, so I have a plan to solve that problem.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, yeah. I hope to have it solved in the next, 2 months. And it'll solve a lot of our problem. Well, I say a lot of our problem. It will solve...
A lot of your problems?
It will solve most of the audio problems. Because basically what it'll do is it'll give us each a mic. But then they'll run through the same audio. It's just money. It's all money-related shit.
No, of course it is. It always is.
And of course, with the state of things going, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
We got our budget last night. It's a good budget. It's not a good budget.
No, I didn't think it would be.
It's a terrible budget. Turns out our government is very bad at understanding things.
I'm aware.
But one of my favorite part was there'll be tax breaks for every Australian.
Okay.
Okay, so there's going to be tax breaks for 13 million Australians. Which, if you know anything about the population of Australia, you know that's about 20 million Australians that don't get any tax breaks.
Yeah.
And to top it off, it'll be about $36 a week in your pocket. And I was like, okay, that's great. I do, $36 a week would be excellent for a lot of people living on that kind of boundary.
Yeah. Except they're not going to be the ones that get it.
Well, no, okay, that's good. But that's next year. That starts in July.
Yeah.
And it's like, by the time that happens, that $36 will probably be offset by the cost of things like bread and milk and petrol. And
yeah.
Let's face it, petrol goes up by another 2 cents. And we're back to practically paying $2 for just base cheap petrol.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm still
and then
$2.14 or something like that. Yeah.
But the cheapest petrol will be up around the $2 mark. And it's like, at that point, getting an extra $36 a week is worthless because that's just going straight into your petrol tank.
Oh, of course it is.
But yeah, government have no idea about anything and constantly just keep upping the cost of living.
No, because they keep going based off their own
experiences. It's not based off their experiences at all. It's not based on anything. They're just going, this should make people happy.
Even if it is based on their own experiences, it's like, well, this would make us happy. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't do anything for anyone else. If it makes you happy.
No, but it's also based on the fact that they don't understand where the majority of Australians are at the moment. Because they seem to think that a lot of Australians have savings that they can, dip into at any point. And it's like,
no.
Some Australians do. Yeah. However,
some Australians have the savings and then it become like...
No, but here's my problem. Here's my problem with that whole statement. Because they literally made that statement. I went, your savings are not supposed to be what you dip into to make ends meet.
No. They're supposed to be sitting there to be used for what you want to use it for.
Exactly.
Holidays.
So
a big expense.
Our government's, once again, fucking ridiculous.
Because anyway, the way I use my
back to the
savings at the moment is... Oh, yeah, that's right, because we're still on it at general use. Fair point.
I just thought I'd mention that because, yeah. 1, big news. 2, I was talking about how the audio quality will get better once I buy this box that I'm chasing. And 3, back to the raft.
Yes.
Yeah, so the raft has happened.
Yeah.
So that's another video out that there's a few videos that I always hate editing. and it's the big ones like the raft because it's like I've got to edit 2 cameras and it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just
tedious.
Very tedious. But yeah, like that's the whole kind of fucking thing.
Oh yeah.
I knew what I was signing up for. Actually, if I'm being honest, the only reason it sucks is because
you've got so much else on your plate as well.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like the second that I can actually be like, oh yeah, I don't need as much work anymore from my job. I'll be like, yeah, no, and then I'll just be like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I'll do it. Like in reality, it's only like 4 hours of editing to get out something like that, and that's because you got to scroll backwards and forwards and make sure things are good and make sure you're not losing anything that's actually good value.
True.
But like the only reason that's a pain in the butt is because it's like just fitting that into the rest of what's happening. It's like, okay, I start work at 2 o'clock, so I've got to get it done before 2 o'clock. Okay, well, I didn't get home from the gym until like 1:30 last night, so I didn't get to bed until like 3, so I slept in until like 9:30, and it's like, okay, now I'm up and I'm tired, and I've got to do this and I've got to do that, and now I'm getting a bit sick. Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm complaining about nothing really. So that's kind of what's come out this week. We are up to 80 subscribers. Officially.
We were right. Well, you were. Well, no, our goal was achieved. Our goal was to be 80 by this week.
Yeah, well, that's just kind of me noticing the trends. But, so we're up.
That's good.
The trends are following the trends that they set. Where kind of like one of the reasons I'm putting out so much more shorts is just because...
Well, it gets our stuff out there.
Gets our stuff, but it also kind of gets like the funnier moments where it's like, maybe people don't want to watch an hour video for like one particular thing that was just ridiculously hilarious.
Yeah.
But by putting out that one point, people can come back and be like, oh yeah, I'll put this on in the background or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're up to 80. But who knows when that will change, because literally last week we finished making the podcast. Kris did something that he had to do for the channel, and then literally about an hour after we finished the podcast, our subscriber count had changed again.
Yep.
So who fucking knows? I don't know, but I love it. I love all you guys. So what else have I been doing this week channel-wise? Well, channel-wise, I've started editing the first of the Satisfactories. We did get that working, as we said, and we were really bad because of the type of game Satisfactories. We ended up playing like an hour and a half, and so I've turned the very first one into 2 episodes.
Okay.
So there's 2 episodes of that, about 45 minutes, which is pretty good. Video length wise. Actually,
so
that's not
you cutting anything out, or you just...
There is some parts I've cut out. Like I've cut out anything where it was like nothing was actually happening. Like there's a whole conversation we have about not being funny because I'm standing at a workbench for 2 minutes. And I cut out most of that conversation. But let me say, I noticed this when I'm editing games like Satisfactory and like Phasmophobia, and games where it's like I just kind of go into autopilot.
Oh, I do it all the time.
I sing stupid songs.
Yes, you do.
When I'm just kind of going along.
I'm aware.
Like, there's the classic, the G-bones connected, and they don't end.
Oh, I'm aware.
But this one has like a classic song about... I'm literally just making noises, and then I start singing about ducks.
Question for that one.
It has one where...
And the annoying thing is, because it's while you're on autopilot, you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
No, I don't know where it ends. And it's
so
like,
if anybody wants the end of these, you're never gonna get it.
Oh yeah, it's just like the G-bone. I was singing about the G-bone, and then I turned around, saw something, went, oh god, and then never picked it up again. That was just like, it wasn't even like it registered that I'd been doing anything.
No, I'm aware.
Then there's also a song about me making your life hard because you suck.
I don't remember that song.
there's just a bunch, and I'm just like going through the thing, being like, wow, you can actually tell when I just kind of switch off. And it's like, I still do stuff, and I'm still talking, and I'm still just being me.
Yeah.
But then, like, everything has, like, a song attached to it.
Yep.
I just be, like, walking along, and it's like, and I'll be just, like, going, like, and then it just stops. And you're like, what's going on? It's like, nothing, what are you talking about? And then I just keep going.
Yeah, because generally if you stop, it's one of those things like, oh, did something happen?
Or it'll just be like, ooh, rock. And it's like, okay.
Okay.
It's like, oh, I guess you found what you were looking for. It's like, yeah. How'd you know I was looking for something? Oh, because you started singing. I was like, what do you mean I started singing? It's like, you literally were singing everything you were doing. And there are points where I'm just like, looking in a cave, I'm in a cave, is this a spider cave?
That's as we were both going to that cave, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things, and that's the difference. Like, you start singing, I go dead silent.
I just go like,
It's
there's like other things where I'm like standing there and I'm just like, Kris is making ugly.
Yeah.
But
you guys get to see that. I'm just getting shit done to get stuff moving and get it started.
And you're giving me a hard time about something, and I'm just like, this is when I sing the song about making your life difficult.
Yeah.
Because you're like, why didn't you just do this? And I was like, because we don't make Kris's life easy. And then I start singing a song.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like literally the thought process in my head when I'm doing that is literally like, oh, I could be doing this.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm literally adding extra steps to the process. And I know I'm doing it.
Yeah. No, it's weird, and I've definitely noticed it. Like, you sing all the time. Right?
Oh, yeah.
The problem is sometimes you sing actual songs. It's like, oh, you're going to cut that out now.
Actually, sometimes I don't. So if you watched last week's podcast, I literally am singing a Foo Fighters song.
Yeah,
for a portion of that.
Yep.
It's just because, again, it's me, and the way my fucking brain works is like, I sing like the first line, then stop, have a conversation with you, then sing the second line.
Yep. I'm aware.
As if nothing happened.
I'm aware. I'm well aware.
Yeah, so that's...
It's funny seeing what everyone does in those situations. Because it's quite normal for me to go quiet while playing a game and nobody questions it. Right. Eventually they'll go, I haven't heard Kris for a while. What are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I've been driving around aimlessly because I zoned out.
Yep.
My bad. If Jordan goes silent, on the other hand, he's up to something.
That's the same with me.
Like, never admit it, but
if
he's up to something.
If I'm not making myself known and just being like, doop, bloop, bloop, like if I'm making just random noises, I'm probably doing something.
Oh yeah, I know.
But it's like, if I just go dead quiet, it's like, oh no. Because that's like concentration mode. That's like, okay. And like, I think when we were playing Satisfactory for the first time, the only time I went dead quiet was when I was like setting up all of my bombs. Or when I was playing Minecraft with Jordan and our other friends on his server. And he was just like, what are you doing? Because he would see me and I would see him and then I'd run away and I wouldn't say anything. He's like, why are you so quiet? And what I was doing was burying zombies all around his property.
Yep.
And so,
that's the only way to do things.
It's like when I'm quiet and like being quiet, it's because I'm like concentrating.
See, and I could be concentrating, or I might have just zoned out and I'm walking around in a circle aimlessly.
But the other one is you can also tell if I'm concentrating and it's difficult, you will hear me muttering under my breath. I'll be like, yes. Because I'm actually like sitting there going, but anyway, that's so I'm going through Satisfactory and it's just like the very standard things that are happening in Satisfactory are, I am exploring, because obviously it's all from my point of view.
Yes. I
am exploring and I'm singing songs, or I am exploring and threatening you because you're sassing me.
I do that a lot in that game.
Yeah, but it's always shit like you're like, I go like, you say something and I go, I'll come back and zap you, and you're like, no you wouldn't. I'm like, why the fuck do you say that? You know I will.
I'm aware.
Think your things through.
No,
You're like, oh,
I'm aware, but it's one of those things that sometimes I'll do it just to be like to inconvenience you because you will. Most of the time, or at least sometimes, you will stop what you're doing just to come back.
Oh yeah, I'm petty.
And it's literally just it's like it's an inconvenience to you because you do it and you're like, oh, now I'm gonna go back there.
Well, it reminds, as I said, when I was playing Minecraft with Jordan on his server.
Yeah.
And they were all like, Darcy, can you just go to bed? And I'm like, no. And they're like, why not? I'm like, because I'm 20,000 blocks away from you in the middle of the snow. And they're like, how the fuck did you get there? I'm like, I've been walking for a very long time. They're like, why? I'm like, I need a desert. And they're like, you're in the snow. I'm like, I know. Do you know how many fucking biomes I've been through and not found a desert? Jordan said 1,000 blocks this way, there's a desert. So I went that way for 1,000 blocks and there wasn't a desert. So I just kept going and going and going and going. And Jordan's like, have you like found half of my world now? Because you know how Minecraft have this weird thing is if you found something and you get the update happens, it only happens in blocks that aren't already discovered.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'd gone out and discovered like half of his world. So when an update happened, he was like, so where haven't you been? I was like, I haven't gone in that one direction. I really wanted a desert.
Oh, fair.
I think I'm going to say this now that, I think that server's not coming back. The reason I wanted a desert, and no one fucking asked, was because I was out collecting all the fucking TNT.
Oh, no, I'm aware.
I think I had like 6 double chests full of TNT in my house. And I was going to bury it completely under Jordan's stuff. But he also banned me from going near certain things that he was working on because I'd like walk over.
Not surprised.
I walked over and he's like, I'm doing this sorta, and it's like, and because it's Minecraft, not like Xbox Minecraft, not modded Minecraft, the sorta has to be like this giant room full of dropping things and everything.
Well, I've seen him building the sorta.
Yeah, and he was like,
it's
I'm
massive.
doing a sorta. What are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm bringing the tourists, and he's like, the tourist looks, and I've got like 6 creepers behind me.
Yeah.
He's like, get the fuck.
Get away, motherfucker!
I'm like, well, they want to see it. He's not allowed near me anymore. I'm like, oh. And then they just were like, what's this giant black concrete patch here? And I'm like, oh, that's my swimming pool. And they're like, but it's concrete. I'm like, I can't afford water yet.
Okay.
I was a menace then because
right.
it wasn't mine. I wasn't doing stuff in there. Like Jordan was pushing all the progression forwards.
True.
So I was just like mucking around, and like so I ended up getting like trapped in nearly everything Jordan made. And he's like,
how?
Well, so he made like.
When you say trapped, do you mean like built into it, or?
Yes. Also, like he makes moats around his things.
Yeah, but
then puts like lava blocks at the bottom so that you can't swim in them.
Yeah. And
then I'd be like walking along and he'd be like, and I'd do something and he'd
because it'd have air bubbles going up.
He'd try and attack me, so I'd just jump into it. And then I'd be like, hey Jordan, I'm stuck here now. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to dig my way. He's like, don't you fucking dare.
And then he tries for ages and then has to go through and dig you out.
Exactly.
It's like, don't you dig out, I'll do it. Because it's one of those things, it's like you can't die in there if there's the lava block at the bottom, because it's just constant air.
And then I forgot that I had been burying zombies everywhere, and it turns out I had buried zombies in the walls of my house. So I couldn't sleep in my house, and it was like, go to sleep. I'm like, I can't, there are zombies in my walls. And they're like, why are there zombies in your walls? I'm like, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. But also, why are there zombies in your wall? There are no zombies in our... Are there zombies in our walls? Maybe. Anyway, as I said, when I get into Minecraft and I'm just like along for the ride, I'm the worst person.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so Satisfactory, that was fun. I also edited the Hitman one. That was very entertaining.
Yes.
You'll be happy to know that... so my parts in that Hitman one, to put it really clear, my parts are just pretty much in and out, done. There's not a whole lot of talking, it's just kind of me being like, okay, what am I going to do here, what am I going to... Chris's ones are the ones where it's like, actually, the two of us talking, because Kris wasn't allowed to see what I did.
Yeah.
Whereas I was sitting there
Because
judging.
generally you let me go
But
first, and then when you go second,
Literally, I think when I was doing it, it was like your first bit and my first bit are pretty similar sizes.
Yeah.
Yours is a little bit longer, but you also get killed in your first bit.
Yeah.
My second bit, I think, is about the same length as your second bit, but I also failed the mission there because I did tell you how I failed the mission.
Yeah.
Because I pressed the wrong button and just broke everything. Then your third and my third part is short, sweet, and clean. Your third part is very long. Oh, fuck.
No, it's probably the way we need to do that. Like,
oh yeah,
don't get me. The other way is good in the sense that you start me off so I don't know what I'm doing, but then you go, and then I can gather what I still need to do.
So
and then go
this one was very much a because of the type of escalation it was. Like I did choose this one for this reason.
Yeah.
To kind of do a test on this. But I would like to do it on some actual Hitman-y ones where there's multiple targets.
Yeah.
So you can see how I do it, like my planning and, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to try and like my, like the level of which I do it and then the chaos that you do. Not to say that I'm not chaotic, I have a very I kind of play this the same way I play the Star Wars role-playing game.
Yeah.
Which is, okay, everything's going according to plans, going according to plans, going according to plans, going according to plans. Okay, wrinkle. No, I'm not dealing with this. Okay, fucking kill everyone.
Whereas I pretty much walk in and I'm like, okay, let's go. What's your plan? Don't have one. Let's go.
Very much. So both of them are almost done. I have a little bit more to do on them.
Just very disappointed that first Hitman we did is gone.
It was, yeah. As I said, one day we will redo it.
Yeah, because that was a fun one. I enjoyed that one.
I was very drunk.
You were, and I was.
I
got called an animal and a monster a few times.
You're an animal. You are, it's true.
I killed some people unnecessarily and made jokes.
Yes. Other related channel stuff is that the second Minecraft has been filmed. I have to edit it, and there is and it is dated by what we're talking about in the footage.
I still need to do the recording.
You do. But, so hopefully, in the next couple of days, I'll get all of that. Hopefully by next week, I have all of these ones I'm currently working on finished. Oh, I say hopefully. Definitely, because some of them will be coming out next week.
Oh, yeah.
As well as finishing editing the Minecraft one. Yeah. And then I just kind of need to plan out Minecraft because I'm I enjoy doing our Minecraft. We have the plan that we're going to actually finish Minecraft. We're gonna do something I've never actually done before, which is plan to beat the Ender Dragon.
I have beaten the Ender Dragon.
I've beaten the Ender Dragon, but I've never actually just played Minecraft to beat the Ender Dragon. I've never played Minecraft to actually beat the game. I've only ever done it to A, just build shit, or B, just fuck around.
I've only fucked around. Or just mined.
Yeah.
I had a very basic house and then just off I went.
Well, again, on Jordan's server, we built a giant pillar of lava in the middle of his town that went up to the top of the world. And
so Nick and I did something very similar.
We died a lot building it, and then we also shot arrows through it and set fire to a lot of his stuff. And he was not happy because he could not get rid of it.
No, that's fair. So Nick and I did something very similar. We were playing. The world kept crashing. It was done. We couldn't play that world anymore because we couldn't get into it. Mm-hmm. He put lava down over an entire area. I'm like, oh geez. So I started putting border down to put out the lava, stop any fires, all that sort of stuff. And he's like, hey, what'd you do? Oh, I did that on purpose. So he then covered the border with lava. And then it just became a bit of a fight to keep going and going and going. And we again reached the top of the map. Then we started going out. As one of us was on one side of the pillar of lava/water, we sort of just circled around and just kept doing it.
I was like,
and I think at one point I got stuck in there, and you just looked around and was like, oh, I'm in water at the moment. There's some lava over there, some obsidian over there,
but like
lava,
the
water.
yeah,
It was all over the place.
we
It was
really
fun,
didn't
but-
we really did enjoy fucking with Jordan's world though, because then
because he gets very serious with his Minecraft.
well, then at another point when we killed the Ender Dragon, and again when they were like, Darcy, we're going to go kill the Ender Dragon, come on, and I was like, okay. And then they're like, yeah, you ready to kill the Ender Dragon? I'm like, I've got a bucket and a fishing rod, let's go. And they're like, how, why are you here with that? I was like, woo!
Yeah.
But then, yeah, then they killed the Ender Dragon, but it didn't drop any experience.
Yeah.
And then we went back to the real world, and it had dropped experience, but Jordan and Ben hadn't come back. So we got it, and we used it all on a wooden sword.
Hence the grave for the sword. Yeah.
Hence the grave for bitch stick.
I do remember being shown the grave for bitch stick.
God, that was a great sword. It's a shame it had to get thrown into a chasm.
Why did it get thrown into a chasm
Because
again?
I had to go rescue Ben. And when I found him, he was asleep.
Oh, that's right.
So I was just throwing everything at him.
That's right.
But it was all just sliding
Oh.
off the world into the chasm, and I accidentally threw bitch stick and it went whoop.
I completely forgot that Ben has the habit of falling asleep while gaming.
Yeah, and I was just like sitting there throwing rocks at him because like I need to be rescued. I need someone to come and build a path for me. So I was throwing everything I had at him because I just had a pockets full of stone and bitch stick. And then I ran out of stone and threw bitch stick, but all the stone had been falling off the edge. So bitch stick went after it, and I was just like, oh. And I stood there like looking at it. So I was like, what just happened? And I was like, oh, bitch stick fell into the abyss and I can't get it back. And they're like, no! And then we built a grave for it.
Oh yeah. Oh, Ben really did have.
But that was like
Did
the,
you ever play
that was like the
Destiny, like the raids on Destiny with Ben?
I never played Destiny with any.
They were. It'd end up getting to the point where we'd be at the final boss. People would have to be like, okay, we're going to the toilet real quick and everything like that, and everyone's just breaking off. And they would get back, like Ben 2 minutes beforehand. It's like, everyone back yet? No. Okay, fair enough. Just hurry up, guys, quick. Everyone sort of gets back. It's like, okay, we're all back. Sweet, let's get in. Let's do it. Ben, what do you? Ben, Jordan, call Ben. He's asleep again.
But yeah, no. So yeah, that happened. And then I taught them how that like fishing gets you a bunch of experience as well as like can get you like items, like
Yeah.
really really good items and shit. And so then it devolved into just a fishing server where everyone was just fishing constantly.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
At least we get a good spot to fish from our server.
and that ends. I guess that ends channel news because I don't think there's anything really else to talk about. We talked about our subscribers. We talked about what's coming out. We talked about what we've been up to.
Yeah.
You got a little bit about the budget, Australian budget, guys. If you're in Australia, that's meaningful to you. If you're not, it's all fake money anyway.
But
Yeah, so let's move on. Talk about something else that is happening this week, and happening in probably like 12. No, not 12 hours. Probably more close to like 4 or 5 hours.
okay.
Assassin's Creed Shadow is dropping its first trailer.
Oh.
So that is the Japanese feudal Japan one, I believe. It's the one they've been calling Project Red.
Okay.
Pretty much.
I'll have to have a look at it.
Yeah, I was hoping it would have dropped before the podcast, so I could have a look at it and like kind of give you give you a rundown and see if you had any questions, see if we could figure the answers out based on what we'd seen.
Yep.
But it hasn't yet dropped, and so it probably won't be dropping because it's supposed to drop today in America, which would mean sometime tomorrow morning, probably.
More than likely, yeah.
But needless to say, it's feudal Japan. It's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
honestly, I haven't really been on Assassin's Creed for a while now.
I haven't either. I sort of
I
dropped off.
thought about playing Mirage. Is Mirage the new one?
I'm pretty sure it is. I
really considered playing it and like really was like umming and ahhing about it. And in the end, I think I chose not to, based on basically a few reviews I saw where they were kind of like, it's pretty.
Okay.
But
okay.
like, because I was really looking forward to going back to like this before Odyssey kind of play style.
Yeah, because that was always fun.
Sorry, no, Odyssey Origins before Origins play style.
That's what I figured you were talking about that. I preferred that. Like,
don't get me wrong, I like
Odyssey. I like that style.
And I have okay. So this is something that I've been meaning to do for a very long time. I intend to go back and play Origins.
Yes.
I dislike not Odyssey. What's the one I'm thinking of?
Valhalla.
Valhalla. I really dislike Valhalla because it's almost like they too generified it, if in my opinion.
Fair.
I'll say this: I never really played Origins, but after playing Odyssey, I was actually open to going back and playing it. Okay. Because I fucking love the shit out of Odyssey.
I played a lot of Origins, and I like that style of game, but it was one of those things that just didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game.
No, it didn't.
It had some aspects where it was like, okay,
that's why I really
Assassin's Creed, but then there was a lot that it was just like.
That's why I really liked Odyssey.
Yeah.
Because whilst it didn't really feel like an Assassin's Creed game, it felt like a hell of a ancient Greek RPG.
And that's how I think we've got to go into the latest ones. Is that you can't go into it thinking Assassin's Creed. You've got to go into it thinking other things.
That's where I think Odyssey and Origins would be fine for me, because in both of them you are playing a character.
Yeah.
In Origins you do not get to choose that character. You are just playing that character. In Odyssey you do get to choose, sort of, but
yeah.
But you're also making choices, which was something new for an Assassin's Creed game. Do I do this? Do I do that? Whatever. But then Valhalla kind of went too far in the opposite direction, where it was like it had all the role playing stuff, but then it had elements where it was like, oh, just in case you don't want to, you don't like your first choice. It's like, okay, hang on, it's either a role playing game or it's not a role playing game. And if it's a role playing game, you kind of have to stick with the characters you make. But
yeah,
I also think that Valhalla just got a little bit too big. And then too repetitive in that way that big games do get repetitive.
Yeah.
Kind of like, how GTA is a very repetitive game. It's like, drive here, shoot these people, drive here, shoot these people. But it's such a big world, and you're like, yes, but all I'm doing is driving around and shooting these people.
Yeah.
But anyway, I kind of feel like Valhalla got to that. But maybe I'll go back and give it another go. But...
yeah. See, I know my cousin played a lot of Valhalla.
Definitely the worst one.
Yeah,
but no, I'm interested.
He wasn't in town a lot either, so he only played when he got back. So it was good for what he was doing. But
yeah. So I should probably check out Mirage again and just kind of see if I can get like a demo of it or something. That demos are kind of coming back.
Oh, thank God.
And see if it's like, because I really do like the old school. But let's talk about Red, because I don't know much about it. And obviously, because this trailer hasn't dropped yet, I don't know if it's going to be in the older style or the newer style. What are your thoughts?
I kind of want it to go back to the older style. I do. I like the open world kind of thing, but it's like that's a game where when it's big, it's a lot of traversing.
Let's be fair, we did have open world. The best Assassin's Creed game was pretty much an open world. Black Flag.
Still haven't played it. So
Black Flag, Black Flag is without a doubt the best of the original Assassin's Creed.
I'd have to
followed closely by Assassin's Creed 2.
Yes. I would agree with Assassin's Creed 2. I haven't played Black Flag, but I never played it because Well, 3 kind of ruined the ship and sailing side of it for me.
Yeah, no, Black Flag, they fixed that.
Yeah, I figured they did, and I got told they did, but I'm like,
So
I'll have to have a look.
Yeah, Black Flag is a lot of fun. It's one of the best ones they've done. And on that point, it wasn't like a fully open world. Like it was like open traversal, and then you would go. So there were smaller islands which you could stop at while you were in the open traversal. But then like the cities and the big islands and stuff, you actually like there was a loading screen between. So it was like pseudo open world.
And I'm kind of fine with that as well.
Oh yeah, it's better. I actually think it's better because instead of having to have a big open world where everything's always happening, it's like you have a large traversable map and then small areas.
What I find with when a lot of other games these days, they do the big open world, and it's like there's a lot of empty space as well. Yeah. It's like, we had to make it big, so we have this big empty space here. Why? It kind of makes sense for Origins because it's like, you're in Egypt, you're in the middle of a fucking desert.
Well, see, even Odyssey has a big open world, but a lot of it's because it's the Greek archipelago. It's like a lot of it is water, so it's like, there's nothing. It's like, of course, there's nothing. It's water. You're traversing on a ship, and that's fine. What I would really love is I would love like a remake of Black Flag to come out and be able to like travel further afield than just the Caribbean, because like it was kind of like hinted at in the game that there was like you could travel further. But I would love to see something like that come out where it's but using the same style where it's like you actually traverse different maps so that it's not one giant map. But anyway, my point is Black Flag was one of the best. It's an older style game, but it also has a pretty large openish world.
Yeah.
That being said, I think Red or Shadow could be an incredible like open world kind of like if it was built in the newer style.
Yeah,
I think it could be a really good kind of Odyssey type game.
Yeah,
because the nature of Japan is, feudal Japan is kind of that.
Well,
you could have a few castle towns, a few fields, and all that kind of stuff. It would. I almost want to see something kind of like Ghost of
Fuck you.
Yeah.
You screwed me up too.
Because like Ghost of Tsushima is that, except because it's like all the Mongol invasion and everything. Like it doesn't have like the just average civilian thing. It's like everywhere you go, there's people fighting and everything, and you're just kind of like, okay, I'm now sneaking up and killing these people. Whereas like being in that thing where it's like you are in the world and there are people you're hunting down, whatever, but also at the same time you're just kind of. It's like it's normal everyday life. I think that'd be an awesome kind of a setting aesthetically, but who really knows? The one thing I think we can all agree on is we do not want it to go back to Assassin's Creed 1.
No,
because as fundamental
fun as it was when it came out,
as fundamental as that game is to the Assassin's Creed, it was by far the worst. Where it's just like empty open world. City, empty open world, city, empty open world, city.
And then there was stuff in the empty open world.
There were flags. There were flags in the empty open world.
Yeah, and that was it. And it's like you couldn't do anything, and it was slow getting through it. And I think that was the biggest problem that I had with it. Is just you couldn't until later in the game. You couldn't just fast travel through it. You had to get on your horse and go, and that was it. And I'm pretty sure it isn't the first time you went through you didn't have a horse?
No, you always had a horse, but you fast travelled. Once you arrived at a city, you could fast travel there.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to, but every time you went there the first time, you had to ride the horse.
Okay.
But that's like Assassin's Creed 2 was slightly better at that. Not brilliant, but like the fact that it was like you rode to a point and then teleported to the next city. Was that you or me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. And teleport to the next city. But then there were the two, like the city where you lived and then Tuscany where you could actually ride in the countryside a bit, but then the other cities you couldn't really. Oh, actually, no, there was also the one before you go to Venice.
Yes.
I can't remember the name.
Yeah, can't remember the top
I want to say like it starts with an R, but I could be wrong because I haven't played Assassin's Creed 2 in fucking ages.
Same.
Anyway, my point is,
I
I don't know what this one is going to be like, and until this trailer drops, I don't even know if this trailer drop will give us a clear idea of what it's going to be like, because like the Mirage trailer looked fucking phenomenal, but
like, is it going to be just a gameplay trailer or is it a cinematic? Do we know that at least?
Yeah, I think it's a teaser trailer.
So it's probably cinematic. I don't think it'll give us much, to be honest.
No. But it'll at least give us a look at what they're doing, so I suppose that's good. But, you know, then there's, like, other things where it's like... do you remember that Ubisoft is working on a Star Wars game?
Yes.
And we were talking about kind of things we wanted to see in that a while back.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out we're getting less Edge of the Empire and more classic Star Wars shit.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. New Star Wars shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like, yeah, I've seen a few things on it and it just doesn't look great. Yeah. But then again, a lot of the stuff I've seen also focuses on the fact that Ubisoft are being like, hey, pay us extra money and you can get this, that, and all the rest of it. And it's like, why? Why, Ubisoft?
Please no.
You've already done it, so I want to just set a price for the game and say, this is... I don't know, man. You know how it is.
They make bad decisions.
Oh, it's just... I don't know. Like, I need to look...
good decisions for the company,
I need to look...
but bad for the gamer.
I don't think they're good for the company either, because being that hated can't be good for your overall brand.
The problem is people
Ask
still
EA.
buy it.
They will, but the problem is, like, as I said, ask EA. EA make bank off The Sims. But literally, like, they created one of the biggest biggest scandals in gaming until recently. Have you heard about the latest one? Escape from Tarkov.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard about that one.
Okay, so Escape from Tarkov is a game.
I know about the game.
Set in Russia.
Yeah.
It's kind of hardcore, whatever.
Yeah.
So a couple iterations back, they released an edition called like the Edge of Darkness or something, and in that edition, which was like $125, whatever. I can't remember the exact price, but it was a lot of money. Was like you will get all future DLC for free.
Okay. Yeah.
They've just released a new one.
Yeah.
It's called the something, I can't remember, but it's got a classic, like, you know, edgy gamer name, and that's $250. And in this one, it includes the much requested PvE mode.
Okay.
Where you and 4 of your buddies can play against environmental.
Yeah.
Instead of other players, as well as a bunch of like pay to win stuff, and it's $250. So like for 4 of your, but you have to buy that version to get the PvE.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much claiming it's not a DLC PvE, and PvE can't go to everyone and all this kind of shit, and that you have to pay the $250. And if you bought this $120 whatever dollar one, anyway, yeah. So as I was saying, like they're like, oh, you know, the people who spent money before, well, you just have to pay the difference if you want this new edition. And people are up in arms about that. And then it's also kind of like Tarkov is still it's almost like an early access game, sort of.
Yeah.
And it's like people have spent a lot of money supporting this game because it's well, I told you there's $120 odd edition for a game that isn't really fully out yet.
True.
And pretty much the company behind it were like, oh well, you know, unless you buy this new $250 edition, you're not a real supporter and all this kind of shit and all that kind of stuff. And it's like,
yeah,
they're pretty much biting the hand that fed them.
Yeah.
But they've also done like the inscrutable thing of, so all this was happening around about the same time as the Helldivers Sony thing. You know how, you know, Helldivers, no one wanted their Sony to do Sony, and then they were like, oh shit, okay, we've seen your feedback. We're not doing it.
Yeah.
Well, the people who make Tarkov are just like, no, we are doing it. Doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, quintupling down. Like they've stuck their foot in their mouth multiple times and just keep pissing off the people playing it. And it's not going to do anything because the people obviously are still playing it. But
no, because they put too much money into it
Yeah,
at this point.
it's-
And that's the problem is once certain people have put enough into a game,
fallacy.
Yeah.
They
they just won't stop.
Yeah. But so that's a big thing that I've only recently learned about. But you know,
Okay, yeah,
it's
no,
kind of shitty. It's a kind of shitty thing because I was actually.
I had a new edition about it.
To be fair, I was actually looking at getting into Tarkov a while back, like when it first became like kind of on the scene, and I was like, okay, I wonder what this is about.
Yeah,
and I was
Lucan
like,
was telling me to play.
and I was like,
look
oh,
at it.
it's an early access game, and I found out about it, and I was like, is it on Steam? Okay, it's on Steam. I was like, oh, it's early access. You got to go to their site. And I was like, oh, I'll go to their site and I'll check it out. And I was like, early access, you know, if the price is right, I'll get into it.
Yeah.
And I went to the early access and it was like $80. I'm like, that is not the right price for an early access game.
No.
And then I've heard that was like one of the cheaper editions. And now that there's all these extra higher level editions, I'm just like, the game isn't even fully released yet. And if I'm being 100% honest, I don't think there's a game that currently exists that I'd be willing to drop $250 on just for the for the game.
No.
Like, I don't care what edition it is, I'm not spending $250. Do you know the only time I've ever spent $250, I got a giant fucking Noble Team statue, books and books and books on Halo,
Yeah.
and a giant fucking case for it all to come in.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favourite franchises and the last of the games that it was made by the original makers. And I got a fucking sweet-ass statue.
You know what I haven't heard about for a while, and I've just remembered it?
What?
Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty forgetting the game. It's the big one, Xbox, starting on S. You played it briefly. Shipbuilding.
What?
I'm just trying to describe the game. It's like you were looking to build a ship.
I was looking to build a ship.
A massive ship, open world. Space exploration.
Space exploration.
Fuck, what was it called?
It's for the Xbox.
Yes.
Oh, Starfield.
Starfield. What the fuck happened there? I've heard nothing on it for ages.
Okay, so it's a classic Bethesda game, from what I understand. So, but like a lot of classic Bethesda games, so this one was a little bit too much for them, I believe.
Okay.
And it's I think a lot of repetitive, a lot of stuff like that. I have kind of zoned out of it, if I'm being honest, for a while.
Yeah.
Mainly because I don't have the space on my computer for a game that big that I wasn't playing, so I uninstalled it.
Fair.
I was kind of sitting there when it first came out and going, okay, this is great. I played a bit of it. I kind of did what I wanted to do, which was come to Earth and try and find places. As I said, I'm pretty sure I found Rockhampton because I did some coordinating from where I knew places were, and I was like, okay, I think I'm here. I found the coast of Australia. I landed there. I walked a bit. I was like, this looks about right on the giant map, and there was a hole, and I was like, Rockhampton.
That's right. Yeah.
But I did that, and I was actually having a really good time with it. Don't get me wrong, like I did enjoy it, but at the same time, it kind of runs into the same problem a lot of games of its size do, which is here's a giant city. Giant cities are hard, man.
True.
Why are giant cities hard? Because giant cities are full of people.
True.
And this, like, Cyberpunk sort of did it well. Like, there's lots of people. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of variety happening with those people, but there's just a lot of people. So you're not really paying attention to what any one person is doing. Every now and then you catch snippets of conversation, almost like you're actually in a city. But like I was in like the head city of Mars or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the one. And it's like, okay, yep. And I was like walking around, there's like 6 people, 7 people, 8 people. And it's like, if this is supposed to be like the hub of humanity,
Where is everyone?
where is everyone?
Yeah, okay.
Then it's like, oh, I went to another place and it was like, okay, I'm in here, and it's like, okay, I'm walking in and there's the shop and there's this and there's the okay. I was like, there's literally 3 places worth visiting here. So it's just there wasn't stuff happening. It kind of felt small. And so I kind of got to the point. It felt empty. It felt very empty. And like there was stuff happening and it was kind of cool, but I was like, it felt very empty. And I just kind of went, I'm going to wait for mods. Mods have always made the Bethesda games better. Mods make Fallout better, Fallout 4 better. Mods make Skyrim so much better.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to wait for mods. So I uninstalled it, and that was when it first came out, and I haven't actually thought about it since.
Yeah, I only just thought about it then.
But again, I there was also issues with the stuff like this spaceship building. Because like I wanted to build a giant spaceship.
Yes.
And it was like, oh, there's limits, and then the spaceship, as I said, again, waiting for mods to kind of save the day because the spaceship building mechanics were kind of,
Okay. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't really blame Bethesda. It's a massive project, and so there are going to be parts that suck. Yeah. But it's also not the community's job to come in and fix their fuck ups. No, but that's kind of what I'm waiting for. So
it's a bit of an issue. But
it's a very big issue because it's kind of like, why are Bethesda games so beloved? Because the community comes in and fixes their fucking fuck ups.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it's like
don't get me wrong. Like I had fun with Fallout 4 and I only played on console.
Yeah, I played on console and PC. And let me tell you, the console was fun, but I kind of went to a mental point at that point where I was like, I only played Bethesda games on PC. Because I was just like, the ability to mod is fucking fantastic on PC.
Oh, of course it is.
And then I also kind of, like, back many, many years ago now, I actually learned how to build mods into Skyrim using the creation kit.
Yeah.
And so I could, like, install buildings and stuff that I had designed. And so I was having a lot of fun with that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a shame, but, you know, it is what it is. But you know how it goes. Like, I'm sure if I was to look up the modding, like, a good indication for a Bethesda game of how much life is in it is how many mods are for it. Because people are still making mods for Skyrim.
True.
People are still making mods for Fallout 4. So if I were to check out its modding scene that was pretty sparse, that would be a very bad sign. That people just kind of gave up on it. And it could be given up on because it is the new engine. And so that was another thing why I stopped, because I was like Fallout 4, when it came out, it had a variety of mods within the first 24 hours. Like, the second it was out, people were making mods for it because they knew how to do it. Skyrim, Starfield is in a new engine, and so I was like, okay, so people are a bit slower because they're learning how to mod the new engine, whatever. But, I'd have to go back and check it. But I would check it. I would go back and check it. I would, because I was having fun with it.
Yeah.
But I want some. I need mods. It needs mods, because much like everything, it's kind of like, you know, oh, here's this cool gun. It's like, this is a cool gun. Oh, okay. So you've done your whole thing, and there's like 20 types of weapons. Cool. Jesus. Then the modders get there, and they're like, "We got you, bro."
Yeah.
You want an old school fucking World War One M1911? Sorry, 1911, Colt 1911. Yeah, we got that. It's like, sweet. And because it's like fucking old school, it does so much damage. You're like, yes. And then you just run around like a fucking World War One dude. And you're like, you know what, now that I got the World War One gun, I need the World War One outfit. And then you're a space guy who's dressed as a non-space guy. As I said, there's a whole lot of stuff that can be done to make these games better, and it always is. But Bethesda have a real penchant for letting the community fix their games.
Yeah.
And make their games classics. And it's one of those funniest things, because it's like, people think, if you think about like games that changed the gaming scene over our lifetimes, at least Skyrim is one of them.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's been released so many times, but the only reason that it kind of stayed in thing was because of the modders.
Yeah, and they keep releasing it on console. It's like,
cool.
You don't really need to. you haven't really changed anything.
But anyway.
It's like the biggest joke I've seen about it is some guy traveling from the future comes back to the past, but he's not sure what the date is.
So he asks
So he goes through. No. He walks out and he sees a sign and he's like, surely the first thing I'll see will help me figure out what time it is. And then it just said Skyrim Remaster, and he's like, shit, I still don't know when that is. Because it didn't help. Which remaster is it?
Yeah.
Because that's all.
Actually, that is a piece of news that I thought you might be interested in. I don't know how much you know about it, but have you been keeping up with the Elden Ring DLC?
No, I haven't actually looked at the DLC. I heard about it, but I haven't looked into it yet.
Right.
But then again, it's an issue with like where I've done the most work is on my cons on the PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
I have an issue with that.
Okay.
A character's not good for beating the final boss. Does mass damage. I can face almost anything by myself except the final boss because I fight with great swords.
Right.
And the downside to those is they're slow enough. They do mass damage to him because that's what he's weak to initially is physical damage.
Yeah.
But the problem I run into is I can't. Once I start swinging, he'll start hitting me because he moves faster than me. I'm going to take the hit.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually spend a lot of my time dodging his attacks and not being able to hit him. So I think the best I've done is I've finished his first form and can't get any further because he tries to stay at a range.
Well, that is coming out next month. So
okay, I'll have to have a look at it then. See if I actually need to finish the game.
I'm just quickly going through like things.
Because I think what I'm going to have to do is try to rebuild. Well, not so much rebuild my character. I've got enough points into my character that I can pretty much do whatever I want now.
Yep.
I just have to, as I said, not rebuild, but find another weapon that I can. It's a bit faster, still does enough damage, and then I can get in.
Well, here is another one that I kind of forgot came out. Sandland. That's already out. I have seen.
Oh, that's the game, the Kira Toriyama game.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'm just having a look at games that have come out in the last couple of months.
Because there's a
Hades 2 is in early access. I am actually looking at getting Hades 2. I need to play Hades first one though.
As do I.
Not a great deal. Yeah, there's not a whole lot that I'd say I'm interested in that's coming out at least this month. Probably one of the only things is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which is just a Switch port, from my understanding.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's a few games here that I'm like, that doesn't sound right because I already own that game, but maybe I own an early access version of it.
Like what?
One of them is Warno. It's a PC game about it's a real time strategy war game where you can play as actual forces with their actual militaries.
Okay.
But June. Let's have a quick look at June because June should be interesting. Again, we can talk about this more next time. But Destiny 2, the final shape's coming out, so Jordan will be excited for that.
And most people are waiting for Jordan to start playing it.
There was just a game called Crab God. I'm not sure about that, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look up.
Obviously, Elden Ring. That's on June the 21st. Everyone's gonna be crazy about that.
Yeah.
That's about it, really.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing too crazy there.
No.
But that about wraps us up. But before we do go, there is one thing I would like to show off that I recently bought. Yeah. Look at that. That's beautiful, isn't it? And that is a $60 thing that I bought as part of a joke, really.
Yeah.
But
don't you enjoy you didn't have to ask me what you were talking about?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I figured you would have seen it and known exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy with this. I'm so glad it arrived.
Oh, yeah.
But guys, that does us for now. It's been another kind of long one. It's kind of late as well. You can thank Kris for that one. So as always, if you have enjoyed the video, consider liking, sharing, commenting, or if you haven't already, subscribe. Kris, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Oh, I'm gonna have to do some research on these other games so we can get through them. Look at them next week.
Look at what games?
Well, some of the games you mentioned.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So,
So next week we might have a little bit of gaming information. Maybe a mid-year-ish, sort of mid-year-ish kind of update on what we're looking forward to in the time to come.
yeah.
But guys, until then, I've been Darcy. He's been Kris. Thank you for joining us, and you guys have an excellent evening, tomorrow, whatever.
Whenever you decide to watch this.
Have a good life.
Yeah.
See you later, guys.
Yeah. And it's that time of year, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't help that I didn't realise someone was sick and I bopped them on the nose. Went, boop.
Who was it?
Abby. I was in the thing and she was like complaining about something and I just went, boop. So, and also I'm sick and I went, oh fuck.
Jordan's sick as well. But it's this time of year. He's always sick this time of year.
That's because he has no constitution.
It's
Anyway.
true.